Have you ever promised yourself that you'd do something or that you'd show up for something and suddenly life happens and a week goes by, and when you take a hard look at that week, you realize that you have nothing to show for it, that you actually did not take action on what you said you were going to do? I have. And I used to think that I wasn't driven enough, that I hadn't big goals, that I just didn't want it that much. But actually, that was not the problem. The problem was that I was lacking accountability. There was no one who was holding me accountable for what I said that I was going to do. So today, I want to talk that over with you. Hi, if you're new here, my name is Sarah. I'm a clarity and growth coach, and I'm also the editor of Life Mastery Magazine, a monthly digital magazine created for everyday midlife women who are going through change and want some clarity in their life. Oh, and it's free, so subscribe. So for me, there was a time that I had all my goals. I had my dreams. I wanted to do some courses. I wanted to finish others. I really wanted to show up to start my business and make this something I would be proud of and that would bring me joy. And days would go by, weeks would go by, and I wouldn't do anything. I wouldn't show up the way I had told myself that I would show up. And I was getting frustrated. And it all changed when I met 5 amazing women who were also on this same journey to create their own business and to build something from scratch that they would be proud of. And that's when I found accountability. Now, I'm not the kind of person who was ever taught how to hold myself accountable. And so I used to think that I was flaky, that I was, like I didn't follow through. And the reason that happened was because I was constantly putting everything else and everybody else before my own things, because I was nice, because that was what I should do. Everybody told me that. And so my things would always slip down the list until nobody else needed me, until there was nothing else I could do for anybody else. And then I would have time to show up for myself and do the things I wanted to do. And that group of women, we met for almost 5 years ago, and we've been meeting Monday mornings for 4 years, and we still do it to this day. And that was an eye-opener for me, and that was the best form of accountability I could have hoped for. But then there came a time when we were all at the same level and we needed to grow. We needed more and then expansion. And we could hardly help each other then, because at the beginning one was in front of the other a couple of steps. And when you're building a business, even if they are different businesses, like an online business, for example, the steps are basically the same, even if the business in itself is not the same, even if your ideal client is not the same. The steps to set it up, they are basically the same. And so we helped each other through that phase. We supported each other, we encouraged each other, we inspired each other. And then came a time that we topped that phase, and we needed something else. So that's when our mentors and our coaches came in. So then I found my own mentor, my own coach, and the process started again, but on another level, if that makes sense. So now I had someone who had the business I wanted, and I wanted to learn the steps from where I was. My business was created, I was putting myself out there. And then after that, I needed someone who would help me reach another tier, if you will. That's another type of accountability. And when it's just us friends that are being accountable to each other, they understand us, that we're all in the same boat. And we're all trying to do a lot of things. Most of us still have a 9 to 5. We're building, our business on the side. And we understand, but we also let slip a lot of excuses that we have for not showing up. And we treat them like they are reasons, valid reasons, when they're really just excuses. But when you get to a coach, or a mentor, they are going to tell you exactly when you are making excuses and not moving and not doing the work you said you were going to do. And that's very important. Now that we all have our coaches, we still meet every week. And it's not that the coach is going to push me or, fine me if I don't do something, but they have the tools to support me, and they also are witnessing what I'm doing. And that is the kind of validation that I need. And I find that most of us need. And it really helped me go from the first level I was at to where I'm at right now. And I can see the growth. It's been huge. Now, there are places where accountability is really noticeable. For example, it creates a structure. So if you are showing up, if you have some type of accountability, you usually have a roadmap, because when you get a coach or when you get a mentor, you talk and you tell them what your goal is, what you really want, and you create a roadmap from where you are and where you want to be in a year, in 5 years. For me, it's 12 weeks. I work best in 12 weeks. It's the 12-week year. I love that. It's 90 days, it's 3 months. But when I see it in weeks, for me, it makes sense. And I feel that I go faster. Then there's the accountability throughout the 12 weeks. When you know that you have that roadmap, when you know that somebody's going to be asking you, did you do this? You said you were going to do this. How did it go? Because then the question is not even did you, is how did it go? Because it's assumed you said you're going to do it, that you did it. And that little change for me, it was huge, because with my friends, you said you're going to do this. Did you do it? Why didn't you do it? Oh, come on. Really? That kind of thing. But with a mentor or a coach, we're all working here and we all want to get somewhere. You have your goals, I have mine, and the mentor or a coach have their own goals. And for me, it was very important that the question changed. It was no longer did you, but how did it go? That made me be a lot more responsible and really taking my own dreams and projects seriously. Accountability also builds momentum. My coach or my mentor expects me to do what I said I was going to do. And that's why the question changed. And so when the question changed from did you to how did it go, I stopped negotiating with myself. I stopped saying to myself, well, we're not going to do it today because we're not feeling very well. We'll see next week. Yeah, that's not happening, because the question isn't, did you do it? And then I can give my excuse. The question is, how did it go? So I better have an answer to that question. And so that was huge for me. And then it shifts our identity. You are no longer the person who wanted to start a business. You are the person with the business, and you start acting like it. When you stop negotiating with yourself, when you start to take yourself seriously because you are expected to be serious, something happens. There's a click, and you start behaving that way. Like, for example, you stop negotiating with yourself. You do what it takes, and you just show up. And there's a change of energy when you do that. And that is what's going to give you that momentum, that leveling up, if you will. Having said all that, accountability is not about being right and doing things right and excellent. Accountability helps you do the thing and realize that you don't want to do it, that you want to take another route, that you want to change completely or not even go there. Again, it's not about doing it perfectly. It's about doing it and learning from it. And that's one of the reasons that in Life Mastery Circle, we have co-working or me time every single day of the week from Monday to Friday. Because you have your accountability. That's also why until the end of the month, the people that join have a one-on-one call with me, because on that call, we can create the roadmap. We can see where people are at and where they want to go. And then the co-working every single day. It's no excuse for not showing up for yourself. You have that container. And if you show up 30 minutes to do what you said you're going to do, it's going to move you like crazy. You are going to go far very, very quickly because you have that support. And that's actually why I'm so passionate about this. It's not that anybody's going to hold your hand or is going to do the work for you. It's giving you the time and the space for you to show up and do what you said you were going to do. And it may seem very simple, but it's life-changing. Because the fact that you know that there's that time and there's a person there, and that you show up and you are only expected to do what you need to do for your business right at that moment, or for your life, or whatever you're working on. And that's what accountability can do for you. It's knowing that those spaces exist and that you can just show up and you don't need to talk to anyone. You are there and you are working on your things. And that is what's going to move the needle and also help you create the habit of showing up for yourself daily. And that is the most important thing. We need to create habits, and that's how we change the paradigm of not showing up for ourselves and show up for everybody else. And our things go to the end of the list. No, when you have the time and you start showing up daily, you create that. I truly believe that you don't need another course. You need community. I also believe that accountability and will help you get disciplined. And the discipline is going to work with your accountability. And together, they are going to give you the results you want. And that's what I wanted to tell you today. So here's a reflection question. What's that one thing that you've been meaning to do, but keep putting it off? What is it? It might be in your personal life, and it might be your business, your side hustle, your job, whatever it is. What is it that you've been putting off? Remember, find a way to have accountability. One of the reasons I created Life Mastery Circle, which is a community just for women who want to show up for themselves. They want to create a business or their best life. Women that need to get clear on what they want, was so that I could make it affordable. Because accountability is not easy. We don't always find the right people to be around us that will support us and that will call us out when we are not showing up fully like we said we were going to do. If you want to check it out, I'll leave the link in the description box. That's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for being with me. Have a great Sunday, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.